Don't fade me, bro. This is the WeWin Sports Podcast.
Okay, let's catch up the folks at home. First thing I want to do is announce something which is really cool. Splash Sports is having a $50,000 buy-in, World Championship, High Roller Survivor Appeal. I bought one entry. A bunch of my friends are buying an entry. It's 20 entries. It's going to sell out. 20 entries, $1 million for first at Splash Sports. They also have the World Championship, which is a $5,000 buy-in that I'm hosting. I have 4 entries in that one. It sells out at 211. So it's kind of cool. We have the first World Championship and the World Championship High Roller at Splash Sports. Now, to catch the folks up at home, what's happening, we started this podcast and we're like 40 minutes late. Woodley is a CEO, man. Might be a sharp sports bettor. He's a CEO. He has a life. He's like, Phil, I'm going to run out of time. We're already 50 minutes into this. I'm not sure how long you can go. But Mike The Mouth Matusow, for the crime of me saying, Mike, we want to record on Tuesdays, not Thursdays. We're afraid you're going to do Steve Fezzik's picks. Mike said, blah, 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 and slammed his headphones down. I'm going to continue talking, but is that right, Woodley? And is that right, Cantu?
Yes, that's definitely right. It was amazing. He went and he took 2 hands. I can't believe we didn't have it. And I mean, they might be broken. I'm not kidding.
He might have broke the headphones, is right. And so I just want to say, listen, guys, we're not professional sports bettors. Far from it. I like it when some of the announcers on television, like Pat McAfee, says we're dumb. Of course, he's not dumb. But Mike has lost $4 million betting sports, and so this is what I tease him. And he doesn't throw headphones because I say this. Mike was 14-4 last year in his picks, so hot. You don't want to bet against 2023, 2024 Mike The Mouth Matusow. This is our second podcast. What we are talking about this time is we're talking about NFL win totals. Now, let me tell you something, guys. I've won 11 out of 11 years using information from Woodley, Mike The Mouth Matusow, and contrarian Brandon Cantu. I've won 11 out of 11 years. This is where we're good. Now, if you come back and you talk about favorites Phil, which is me, I have lost 3 years in a row putting picks out, okay? Maybe bet against me. But when it comes to NFL totals, we've been really, really good. All right, David Woodley, give us your number one NFL total. We're doing NFC totals today. What do you got for us?
I don't know if it's number one, but it's definitely number one homer pick on this until Cantu talks, of course. I like my Vikings over 6.5. I like him to win over 6.5 this year. You're paying a little bit of juice on it. If you want to, do a little bit less, you can get 7 on the dot for plus 115. But on this, we're doing the juice at minus 140 because I think 7 is achievable. I think it opened a little bit higher than this, and a lot has gone wrong in that time. But the main thing being JJ McCarthy, obviously lost for the year, which is
JJ McCarthy's out, and Minnesota Homer Woodley is still on the over. Is this right?
Yeah, he's a listen, he's a rookie. I think it's very rare. We talked about it the other day. What Stroud did is extremely rare for a rookie quarterback to play the whole year and then take him to the playoffs. It doesn't happen. So yeah, I think McCarthy can be a stud someday. I think in the lens of this year, I don't think it's like a 1.5 win difference. The difference between McCarthy and Darnold. I actually think Darnold could win more games this year than McCarthy. I think Darnold's pretty good. You look at this offense. Mullins put up Nick Mullins, right, who's not good. Put up 450 plus yards, I think almost 2 weeks in a row with this offense. Darnold is a pro. He takes a lot of heat from what happened in the Jets, who were a terrible team. He didn't look well in Carolina with a terrible team. But by all accounts, everyone in San Francisco loved him. By all accounts, he was kind of known as one of the best backups in the league. I think he's going to thrive in this offense. They got a lot of weapons, Jefferson, Addison shouldn't be suspended too long, but even if he is, he'll be okay. Hawkinson should be back after too long. And then And the pickup of Aaron Jones isn't really being talked about a whole lot, but it's very sneaky. I mean, Jones, like, he's a beast. Like, he will score touchdowns. The Vikings had one of the worst rushing teams in football last year. I think it was like 12 or 13 weeks before they even scored a rushing touchdown. So Jones is a massive upgrade there. The defense should be getting better. O'Connell is a great, offensive coach. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they'll win 7 or 8 games. I think that division. I think there's a couple teams in that division we'll hit on later that are a little bit overrated. I think the Bears are a little bit overrated, and I think the Packers are definitely a bit overrated as well. So I love the Vikings over 6.5. I know Mike.
Okay,
who's joined us.
Cantu. I hate Minnesota over 6.5. Cantu, thoughts? And by the way, Mike The Matusow, do your headphones still work, Mike?
Fuck you.
Oh, perfect. Anyways, but back onto Minnesota, I wanted to say, Phil, that I like Minnesota, but not for the same reasons as Woodley. I like them over.
You like Minnesota?
I like them over 6.5. I think Darnold is
6.5 yards for the year, or 6.5 wins.
I like them over 6.5 wins, but I think Darnold is absolute trash. I don't think he'll be starting there the whole year. I don't know. The Vikings are going to do this thing that they do every year. They're going to have like 6 quarterbacks. It's like they hold their quarterback interviews during the year instead of before the year. So I have a feeling that's going to happen. Why I do like them.
Woodley, what was the name of that quarterback they brought in, the rocket scientist last year? He won the first game.
Yeah, I have his jersey.
Josh
He won the
Dobbs.
first 2 games. Josh Dobbs. I mean, Dobbs mania.
Dobbs.
Dobbs was we're big Dobbs fans in this household.
Is he on a team? What team is Dobbs on this year? Anybody?
He got picked
don't
up
know,
somewhere. He's with the Niners.
Oh,
Wow. All right,
there you go.
Cantu, continue.
So what I do like
Wait.
is hold on a second. What I do like them is the receiving core. I think Justin Jefferson is one of the 4 greatest receivers I've ever seen in my life. He catches balls that nobody else. He just like flings a hand over here and brings the ball in. I don't know how he does it.
I think he's the best receiver in the NFL.
I do too. I don't think it's that close.
It is. It's
And
not
I
close.
like Jordan Addison. I like Hawkinson. All Darnold has to do is throw the ball in the air, and those guys will catch it, just as long as the other team doesn't. So that's why I like them.
Okay, I'm going to comment on Minnesota. I'm coming in here. Listen, Green Bay's going to have a really good year. That's 2 losses for Minnesota. Detroit is going to smack Minnesota twice. That's 2 more losses. And the Bears, who we're going to talk about in a minute, maybe they
smacked
split
them
with
twice
the Bears.
last year. They smacked them twice last year. The Bears.
Minnesota does not do it. I don't think. I just don't think that they have. Now, their defense is good, but I just don't think. I think that quarterback position is super important. I think that division is super tough. Minnesota's not going to do it. Mikey, Minnesota over 6.5.
Real quick, Darnold is better. I think
better
Darnold
than Josh Dobbs. I agree.
He's-
I'm going to go with Woodley on this.
I don't think so.
Darnold's better than Josh Dobbs, but that's not saying much. Darnold has looked like shit everywhere he's gone, except for when he played on the best team in the NFL last year with the 49ers. All of a sudden,
Good
he
point.
looked like
Good point.
He looked like the second coming of fucking Christ. But I'm going to tell you right now, that ain't going to happen with Minnesota. I mean, Minnesota, they got no run game, they got no offensive line, they got a good defense, but when their defense is on the field the whole night, that's what happened to them at the end of the year. They faded because they couldn't get a yard of offense. So the defense was on the field the whole year and every game, and that's why they faded.
Okay, Woodley. Woodley,
I don't
listen.
see it. I don't see it.
We're done talking about Minnesota. I know you're a Homer guy, but I mean, we've talked enough about this godforsaken team. Give us your second pick.
I gotta correct Mike on something. They have actually a good offensive line. It's well above average, and they have Aaron Jones. Like Aaron Jones is definitely an improved.
Oh, they got
run
Aaron
game.
Jones. They got Aaron Jones from Green Bay.
Yeah,
Wow, what's Green Bay gonna do? They got no Dillon and no Jones.
yeah. I mean Green Bay. Yeah, I like actually the Green Bay under, which I won't even go to here. But that was close. I do like the Green Bay under. I like the Bears under. I believe 8. Yeah, it was 8.5 because I know we were talking before the show, either 9 or 8.5. Actually, sorry.
No. The Bears is 9.5. So Woodley, you're going Bears under 9.5.
Yeah, I think it was 8.5, wasn't it?
No,
Well, there's a
it's
few.
9. It's 9 minus 15.
Yeah, it's 9 minus 1.
15.
Yeah,
If you
so
wanna-
under 9 minus 115. I'm actually a huge Caleb Williams believer. I think that kid is going to be something really special in the NFL. But kind of like we talked about last episode, I talked about a few minutes ago. It's really fucking hard for a rookie quarterback to like start the whole year, win 9 games, go to the playoffs. They got a lot of weapons. It takes these quarterbacks a little bit of time. So I like the under just because of that. But I like the under even more because the division is tough. I mean, Detroit is really, really salty. Again, I'm not a huge believer in the Packers. They're not going to beat the Packers twice. I mean, that's an all-time rivalry. I mean, the Packers could easily come in and beat them. They could beat them twice. And the Vikings will beat them. They'll beat them. They'll split it. They'll split it with the Vikings. And then from there, it's a pretty uphill battle. And again, like there's no rush for them to be great. Everybody's hopping on them. Every square is hopping on them. Even the Sharps are hopping on them. There's just too much hype there. They won't be terrible. They'll be better than we were last year. 7 wins.
It's like Mike told me last year, and I really like this. He said, "Phil, we gotta bet Carolina under 9.5. It's a rookie quarterback, and they won 3 games, 4 games, whatever it was. We won easily." This concept of I don't care. It's just so rare that we have a rookie quarterback like our guy from Houston. So rare that happens that I just love the under as well. I'm with you on that. Now, I believe that Cantu is also with us on the Bears under.
Correct. I like the Bears under. And I actually really agreed with Woodley's points. I think Caleb Williams is going to be great. I don't think he's going to be great. I just don't think they're going to win a lot of games this year.
Yeah, I think he might end up being a great quarterback. Okay, Mike, you're on the other side, right?
I'm on the other side. The team won 7 last year. They gave away 4. They should have been an 11-win team. The defense was phenomenal after the first 3 weeks of the season. Okay, and they finished the year 5-1. And they lost the game to Green Bay. That was with Justin Fields, who was so erratic, and he had some really good games. What I've seen in the preseason, they got tons of weapons. They've improved in so many spots. I think they were an 11-win team last year that gave away 4 games. I see them winning 11 this year. That's me.
Jeez, I think you're way off base. I think if you're basing something on the preseason, Mike, preseason Mikey, come on. I don't watch those preseason games because the Ravens
win every preseason and they win 11 games every year. So I don't know. I just know that I love the way that the kid looked. I thought he was kind of overhyped coming out of college. But when you have weapons like the Bears have, and the Bears have weapons everywhere, I just think that they're going to be – they got a defensive coach. The defense the last 6 games of the year were just fantastic. 5 of the last 6.
Okay, Mike, that's enough. That's enough. It's 3 of us that love the Bears under 9, and you seem to love the Bears over. Fine, you're out there on your limb. Now we're going to come to you for your number 1 pick. NFC, NFL totals. Matusow's number 1 pick.
Arizona over 7. This is a team that won 5 last year, if I'm not mistaken. And they were in every game with Josh Dobbs as their quarterback. When Kyler Murray came back, they were very, very competitive. As a matter of fact, they put up points against the Niners. They were 14-point dogs second to last week. They had them on the ropes. The only problem was their defense struggled. Now they've improved that defense a lot in the offseason, and they get Marvin Harrison Jr. They got a killer weapon to throw to. I think they put up tons of points. They're in a weak division. I think Seattle is terrible. I think the Niners are going to regress, and I think the Rams are going to be really good. But I think Arizona will win. I think they're going to win 8 games.
Let's throw it to Woodley on that. Woodley, Arizona, over 7.
Yeah, I like it. I'm a big Murray guy. I think Murray gets a lot of hate for kind of no reason. I think, obviously there's some health issues, but if he stays healthy, yeah, they fly to that. I think more like Marvin Harrison Jr. is listen, it's hard to trust rookies and rookie receivers can be so hit or miss and things like that. But Harrison Jr. is the real deal. I mean, I think I think if he isn't a top 5 to 8 wide receiver within the next like 3 years, I think that's like a massive. I think something went terribly wrong. I mean, there's no reason why that guy should not be all pro every year. So yeah, they're better. I agree with him about the division. I think the Niners are going to regress. I don't think the Rams are really that special. Like, I mean, I think if you look at the Rams as like fantasy football purposes, like the Rams are really good. They have like a lot of receivers. They get like a lot of yards, but they're not that scary. Seattle's okay. I mean, I don't know. Seattle's like this new coach, new system. It takes a year to learn it. So it's a low number. Yeah, I think Arizona could win 9 or 10 even. I think Arizona is like the team that could quote unquote surprise. There's always one team every year that makes the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm going to pass.
I want to say one more thing about Arizona. I talked to a friend of mine who's really sharp, and I told him I liked Arizona as my number one pick, and he says that it is his number one pick also. And so that's kind of where I went that way.
Who is this friend? I want to know who the friend is.
His name's Tony. He's a big time.
I don't want to hear anything Tony has to say for the rest of the podcast.
I don't want to hear Tony's opinions either.
I don't care about Tony's opinion. I don't know Tony. I mean,
is Tony a professional sports bettor, Mike?
Yes, he is.
Okay, well, we get a little more credence. All right, Cantu, I'm just going to pass. I just don't know enough about Arizona. I'm going to stay off that one. I'm going to offer a no opinion, and I'll throw it to you. Can you Arizona over 7 or not?
I'm going to keep it real simple. I'm under 7, and I'm going to go real basic. I am not a Kyler Murray fan. I do not believe in him. I believe there's a lot of he's unhappy. I think he's a prima donna. I think something will happen. I think he will have a big injury, and not saying he's like
he got a big contract and then he just didn't play as well, right? Cantu?
It's like he was unhappy with a big contract. He got the monster deal and then he was unhappy.
He was injured. He wasn't unhappy.
No, I'm not talking about that. He was unhappy. He was unhappy right after. I've never seen anybody get like all the money in the world and then unhappy. That just usually doesn't happen.
No, but that's because they were saying that he didn't listen to film. They were saying he didn't listen to film, and he was playing like video games, and he got mad.
You're right, and I think there's
that's a hell of a thing to say for a guy getting paid whatever 40, 50 million a year. He's not paying attention to film.
But he said that's not true. He says it's made up, and the media we know lies. So I'm sure it was made up.
I believe it. I believe there's disgruntled fans. I think it took the fan base. Kyler. I mean, look, you can always win people back over. I still just believe there's dysfunction.
Okay, here we go, Cantu. We're on to what I believe is our consensus pick. This is our strongest pick on the NFC. I'm going to bet $10,000, $15,000 on this pick myself. And Mikey, we're going to have you lead us off with your pick, which is, I'm just going to say it, Mikey has Detroit over 10.5 wins. Tell us, Mike.
I like over 10.5 wins, Detroit. I think they were the best team in the NFC at the end of the year last year. First 7-8 weeks, the back end of the defense was awful. They corrected it. They really, I mean, the coach, he gave it away. I mean, they should have been in the Super Bowl. And I think that he got so much heat for how aggressive he was. And it's like, you just have to take the field goal sometimes. And if they just would have took the field goal on that first drive to go up 24-0 on Frisco, they would have been in the Super Bowl. And as you saw, San Francisco completely dominated Kansas City in the Super Bowl and somehow gave it away. And so I think Detroit's going to win the Super Bowl. I think they've improved in a lot of areas. The coach is going to make better decisions. I just think I just can't believe like Jared Goff, what he's become. I mean, when they traded
that's a good point.
when they traded Stafford for Jared Goff, like everybody was like, wow, this is going to get the Rams a Super Bowl, and it did, right? But all of a sudden, the Jared Goff that brought the Rams to the Super Bowl the 2 years before, and then all of a sudden fell off a cliff, is rejuvenated. The whole downside of him was having small hands, but man, he has really, really become.
Let me just tell you. Let me just take it from there, Mike. I will say this about Detroit: that coach, that fiery coach, love that coach. He brings such swagger, enthusiasm, and energy. Okay, I'd like to see him dial back the aggression just a little bit. But
will.
I love it. Like, he's all in with his players. It's just such a fun team to watch. I might watch more Detroit games than any other this year. Now, Woodley, I know you're just slightly on the Detroit, so just give us a real quick take, and we'll go to Cantu.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like them, other than the fact that it's like the Lions. They've never won anything historically, but no, I think they can get there. I think they have a relatively good schedule. I think there's like 4 games that are tough that they won't. They might be favored in a few.
Well, Cantu's going to take us through the schedule game by game for this one. We'll just go through it pretty quickly. So, any other comment you want to make on this one, Woodley?
No, I think they get to 11 fairly easily, and I think they could get up to 13. I think they're
that's
the
our
best
consensus
team.
pick, folks. If you're going to bet anything from the show, that's our pick. Cantu, give us a quick look at the schedule, Cantu.
All right, we're going to start out Sunday Night Football against the Rams. I absolutely love the Lions. I think that's an easy win. Maybe not easy, but it's a win. It's at home versus the Rams. Sunday
They're
Night
going to kill the Rams.
1.
Next,
Yep.
we're 1-0.
Tampa Bay, that's 2. At Arizona, that's 3.
3-0.
Seattle, that's home against Seattle.
I don't think they're going to go to. They're going to have 2 home games. I think they'll be 2-0, but then they got to go a tough road game against Arizona.
Oh, stop, Mike.
Oh, really? Last year, Dallas went to Arizona when they destroyed 2 teams, and then they got the shit kicked out of them in week 3. I remember because I had to deal with it. I had to deal with it with fucking you guys and Ben.
No, that's 4-0.
How about this, guys? How about this? We will. They play at Arizona and Seattle. Call them 1 loss, 1 win. They're 3-1. Continue, Cantu.
No, they're 4-0. I mean, you guys can call it 3-1. That's 4-0. We're going to go into the bye week. We're going to be fresh. We go at Dallas. Coming off a bye week, I think they're going to be 5-0. That's just a really tough game for.
They owned them last year when they went into Dallas. They got lucky as fuck.
I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that's a tough game.
Cantu, get this to the next level. 4-1. 4-1.
4-1. I take that back. At Minnesota, 5-1. Home against Tennessee, 6-1. At Green Bay, we'll give it a loss. We'll go 6-2. Is that fair? At Green Bay,
yeah, fair.
Game. At Houston, Sunday Night Football.
Fireworks in that game, boys.
6-3, maybe 6-2.5. I don't know.
That might be the game of the year.
6-3.
That might be the game of the year.
Yeah, we'll call it 6-3. Home against Jacksonville, they're going to win that one, 7-3. At Indy, they win that one, 8-3. Home against Chicago, 9-3. Home against the Packers, that's going to be 10-3. I think splitting with the Packers is fair. I think that's a very, very fair split. At home versus Buffalo, it's going to be a tough game. I think we can all say that'll be tough. Very winnable. That one you can flip. Depends who you talk to.
10-4. What's the next week?
At Chicago,
11-3,
Why? They only lost 1 game last year at home, but guys.
At Chicago, okay. Here's a loss. At San Francisco, I'm going to give a loss on
That's
in
a
prime
loss.
time, Monday Night Football, and then home against the Vikings. I think the Lions take care of that easily.
You think at San Francisco's a loss? They went into San Francisco last year, had a chance to go to the Super Bowl, and they fucking gave the game away. You don't think they're going to be pumped up as fuck to fucking get revenge there? Are you insane? They have that game circled. That game circled before the fucking year started. They're like, they're like San Francisco. We're going in there. We're gonna fuck them up. We're gonna fucking destroy them this time. We ain't letting them back in the game this year. That's a win, buddy.
Well, that's 11, 12, or 13 wins. I think how any of us look at it. Is that fair to say, guys? 11, 12, or 13?
We call them 13-4. They're going to cover easily. That's why that's our consensus pick. We went through the schedule. We love this team. To the people at home, if you're going to take any advice from us, and we've been really good at totals, this is our total. Also, I'm gonna say, if you didn't see the last podcast, we like the Ravens over 10.5 as well. So those are the 2 that I'm going to be putting on my Twitter, that I'm going to be posting and talking about. And now we're going to go to...
I haven't told you guys what I'm going to pick yet. I do live in Washington State.
You're probably going to pick Seattle.
Homer can't do.
Homer can't do.
Okay, now I have a diagram for you guys. This is not a homer pick. I want to let you guys know this is not a homer pick. So first off,
Homer
Seattle.
pick.
7-Eleven Washington State.
Mike, hold on, Cantu. On our text stream that you and I and Woodley have been on for years and years together, I've never seen Woodley's a homer, okay, and Woodley admits it, right? But Mike, I mean, Cantu is the worst homer I've ever seen. It's always Sandals going to do this. Am I right or wrong, Mike?
You're right, and like as much as I feel bad for Woodley because his teams never win. Like Minnesota, the baseball last year finally won a playoff series, but like this guy here, he's been like all year long. Seattle baseball. They fired their coach with 30 games to go in the year because they fucking faded so bad. I mean, this guy here is like, oh, we're gonna win 6 in a row. Oh, meanwhile, I told him
You're
Houston
a
Astros.
Massive homer, Cantu.
I told him the Astros are gonna
no,
fucking probably go to the World Series and they were gonna win that division. Oh, the Astros are 20 games under 500. Now they're like in first place.
Okay,
All right,
I'm gonna tell you guys
not
why.
homer.
Okay, let me go. This is why I'm not a homer. I tell these guys every year over the phone, and I'm going to say about the last 10 years, they're like 9-1 and going over. And here's why. This is my number 7.
Oh yeah, I had him over last year. How'd I fucking do? Oh, I got to push.
Pete Carroll is the guy. He now is not on the sidelines. I'm going to go there, but he still works in the organization. There is the Pete Carroll effect right here. But anyways, we're going to start here.
He's probably trying to sabotage this organization for firing him.
Okay. Oh, Seattle, over 7.5, minus 144. You can get that at Caesars right here. We're going to go right down the schedule as everybody knows I like to do. Week
If you're going to waste
Denver.
our time on Homer Seattle schedule,
They
go for
won
the schedule
7
fast.
last year.
I'm going to go
fast,
fast.
Cantu.
5.5 point favorites. Denver win. At New England win. There's 2-0. Lose. Miami lose. Detroit 2-2. They're going to beat the Giants. It's 3-2. They're going to lose to San Francisco 3-3. At Atlanta, that's a win, 4-3. I think they're going to beat Buffalo at home. They're very tough. 12.
Wait, you're gonna say they're gonna beat both Buffalo and Atlanta on the road?
Okay.
Sorry. Hold on. Whoa. I actually messed up.
Crazy.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did. You messed up by
I
putting
actually
Seattle
haven't
over
seen-
7.
I actually
Atlanta's going to be good, man. They're loaded.
Week 1, Denver. At
Over
New England is
7.5.
3.
Sorry.
Giants is 3 wins. I'm just going to go over the wins. The Rams is 4. Arizona is 5.
I never beat the Rams. They went 0-2 last year.
Cardinals are terrible. They're going to win on Sunday Night Football. They're going to beat Green Bay. That is 7. They're going to beat the weak Vikings is 8.
Seattle's gonna beat Green
At
Bay on
Chicago is
Sunday Night
9.
Football?
Oh, yes. At home. This is an at-home game right here.
Hey, Cantu. What's Seattle's quarterback's name?
Geno Smith.
Geno fucking Smith.
Who had the
Okay.
most high-powered offense pretty much in the league last year.
No. That was early in the year, okay? Because I had him I think I had him over 9 wins, and they had 8 wins with 5 weeks to go, and they went 1-4, and I got a push. I got a miracle push.
No, I think they won last year. I think what did they win over last
No, it was
year?
a push. It was a push.
It was
a push.
Was it a push?
I got a push.
Okay.
I got a push. I needed a miracle to get a push.
First off, the offense in Seattle.
I
was
think you forget
high-powered.
that fucking crazy
Hey,
ass
Mike,
throw he
thank you,
made
Mike.
for me to get a push.
Thank you. So Geno Smith got hurt the last 4 weeks and couldn't walk. So that was kind of my thing. That was a high-powered offense. Then beat Detroit at Detroit last year, if I do recall. Here's the keys to victory. Geno Smith. Geno Smith. He's playing very good.
The only reason why he looks good is because he replaced that fucking squib fucking Russell Wilson who can't even fucking walk.
Mike, can I finish, please? Now, this receiving core, the 2 best receiving cores in the league, Minnesota, Seattle. I think, and I'm not just saying that because they're mine and Woodley's 2 favorite teams, but they got DK, they got the rookie in Jigba, who's been really good, Lockett, and the Noah Fant that they got from the Russell Wilson trade.
Okay, we give you that. They have a great receiving core. Continue.
Running back,
sucks.
Kenneth Walker. High-powered offense. Now, here's the key. We got defense is the problem in Seattle, and it was. They actually have a very good defensive unit. They weren't playing good. Well, they got this new coach, Mike McDonald. They got the Ravens defensive coordinator right here. Brand new, bringing in the new I think he's going to fix the defense, and I think Pete Carroll is going to be whispering in on the offense. That needs no fix. That's why I like it. I think it goes over easy.
Okay, so Cantu's pick is Seattle over 7.5. Mike, I think you have a lot to say about this.
I just think that I have Arizona. Like, I'm with Woodley. I think they're going to win 9 or 10 games. I think the Rams, yes, they might regress a little bit. They lost to Aaron Donald. The defense, that's a big loss on defense. Their offense is going to be fantastic. The Rams are going to put up points. I know the Niners are going to regress a little bit, and so, but they're still the Niners, and I don't see how in that division Seattle wins. I don't know, 7 tops. I look at them as 7-11. I don't, or 7-10. I don't think they can win 8 games. They fucking won 9. They won 9 last year.
On the last 10 years,
Cantu, you already talked a lot about Seattle. Let's hear what Woodley has to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Seahawk fan, but I don't know. I think the things can get better. I think Carroll kind of overstayed his welcome there a bit. I like the Geno story. Like, I'm actually really glad he had that one nice year and he got paid. Like, it's nice to see those guys get those contracts. He's not very good though. I mean, I was kind of disappointed that they didn't. I think their plan this draft was to get Penix, and like obviously he was overdrafted by the Falcons, who I actually love the under on as well. But they don't have a plan at quarterback, and I think Geno's like okay. I think he's like the 22nd to 23rd best quarterback maybe in the league. I think that defense is terrible, dude. I don't think Geno's like I mean, honest to God, I think Darnold could.
Mike,
could put
settle
up,
it, Mike. What number is Geno Smith as a quarterback, Mike?
There's 32 teams in the league. Geno Smith is 25.
Okay, so he agrees with you. Woodley, continue your take.
Top 12.
I can show you the rankings I did last year. I mean, last year we had him at 21 and everybody agreed. The defense isn't good. The receiving core is amazing, right? The receiving core is amazing. I think they're going to put up like a lot of points. I think the defense is going to give up more points, and they'll win like 6 or 7 games. And they got to figure out how to get a quarterback in there. Like Sam Howell as the backup is uninspiring. I think that's my biggest issue with the Seahawks is like they don't have a plan. They have like DK Metcalf and they have Najigma Smith. Like that's a great core receiver. I think Lockett's nearing the end of it, so no, I don't like it. I mean, I like the Seahawks. I hope they go over, but I don't see it, especially with Arizona being good. That's a tough division, man. Like Arizona's good. The Rams, I'm not super high on the Rams. The Rams are better than the Seahawks, and the Rams own them.
Yeah, you and Mike are so high on Arizona, you can't help but be against Seattle. That has to be part of the reason why. And
Arizona's owned them too.
Yeah, Arizona beat them last year. I think both times, or they split.
Yeah.
I know that. We have both times, and that's right. Because I lost 2 survivor picks. Well, I'll take going against because I thought Seattle would win. Yeah, I remember now.
So Seattle, I'm against you as well, Cantu. I don't think that Seattle's going to do it. I think they're going to win 7 games. They might win 8, maybe a win. I'm not as strongly opinionated on this side of it.
I guarantee this one. It's an absolute guarantee on the Seattle pick. So you guys know.
You hit it with the Barkley guarantee. I want to hear that again, Cantu.
I guarantee.
Yeah, but do the whole thing. I mean, we're going to keep all this anyway, but do the whole thing. I guarantee Seattle what?
I guarantee Seattle over 7.5. Book it.
Over 7.5. Okay. Okay. I think at this point, I think we've covered all of our picks. Is that right?
No, I have a second pick. Pick.
Thank you.
Are you ready for my second, Phil?
Yeah.
All right, second pick.
Oh my God, look at this.
Second pick. Can you all see it? Do I have a good visual here?
How
about them Cowboys? Number 2, right here. Over 9.5, minus 144 if you're going to Caesars. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna go real quick. This one's gonna fly over. Week 1 at Cleveland, 1-0. I'm just gonna go over the wins. We're just gonna go wins. So we're gonna go.
Cleveland has a smash mouth defense, bro.
Yeah, week 1 they're gonna win. Week 2,
the consensus has them 6-0 the first 6 weeks. Believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah,
week 4. Hold on, let me finish, Mike. Week 4, unless you guys think I'm missing something. At New York Giants, that's 3. I think this is actually a really tough start. I think they start 3-3. There's just some tough games. Pittsburgh, Detroit, Baltimore. Like, I think they're 3-3. I think they're going to go into San Francisco, coming off a bye right here. Coming off that bye, they're going to go at San Francisco and win. That's 4-3. At Atlanta, 5-3. Home against Philly, I think that they're going to split, but I like this one. So 6-3, right here, 6 wins. Houston Monday night, 7. At Washington, 8. And the Giants on Thursday win easy, 9. 10. At Carolina, Tampa. I think the only one that the back end to me is the easy part. At Philly, that's going to be a loss. I think at home with Washington and Carolina, at Carolina here. Look at the back half after this bye. This is brutal right through here. So if they start 3-3, it's not bad. But once you get past the bye, I think they cruise.
Woodley.
They can't run the ball. They got like 2 guys that are running backs that are fucking older than me.
Yeah, they're not good. I mean, they got a really tough schedule. I mean, you said they're going to go in to San Francisco. I don't care if they're coming off a bye or 3 bye weeks. Like, they're not going to beat San Fran at San Fran. Like, San Fran's a significantly better team than them. I mean, I think the Cowboys were like massive pretenders last year. I mean, Detroit went in and killed them. Like, they got smoked. I think Detroit's going to go kill them again. Like, it's a tough schedule there. I mean, they're going to lose the Ravens.
Beat them like 44 to 14 or something.
Yeah, like
I would say this, guys, about Dallas. To me, they're the most disappointing team of the last 10 years. I keep expecting great things. I liked the Cowboys a lot when I was a kid. I still like them, but they just keep letting me down. I'm so disappointed with them every year, and I hope it changes. But
Jerry, it's all Jerry Jones. It's all Jerry Jones.
Love Jerry.
I mean, he's 84 years old. He won't hire a GM. He should have hired a GM when he was 70, okay? And they'd have probably won 2 or 3 Super Bowls. He thinks he knows it all, and his ego is his downfall, and that's why Dallas ain't going shit. And I'll tell you what, if they start off 3-3 because their schedule's pretty easy early in the year, you're going to see Bill Belichick replace fucking McCarthy. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Okay, let me just finish on my point real quick. So Dak, we've got Dak. He's in a contract year. The Cowboys, year in, year out, Jerry stacks that offensive line. I'm not worried at all. They're wide receivers.
Old.
CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and on defense, the Cowboys are stout at defense, led by Micah Parsons. I just think I love the Cowboys over, and I might even, in fact, put it down. I guarantee Dallas goes over 9.5. That, to be honest, that's not a very high number, and I love it. I think they win 12 games.
Brandon Cooks, I mean, like, is this 2019? Like, he's not. The whole fucking team, the offensive line, the defense, everything. They've missed their.
Hey, they surprised me last year. They won a lot of games last year.
They didn't do anything in the playoffs. Like, they haven't done they missed their window. They completely missed their window. They've done the same thing Jerry always does. They keep the coach around like 3 years too long. Like, McCarthy's a lame duck. He has been forever. Like, Jerry just wants the yes man there. Like, Dak, they don't know what to do with Dak. Like, they're idiots. They should have signed Dak like 2 years ago, but now they're going to be forced to either A, make him the highest paid quarterback in the league, or B, get rid of him and be fucked.
Trey Lance might be the quarterback.
I've heard great. We've all heard great things about Trey Lance. They're talking like he's really, really good. But of course, the Niners talked about how he's really, really good. Not so much.
Yeah, I mean,
he got injured.
Well, they're pretty.
It's the NFL. Like, they're so like, if a quarterback's really, really good, like, they're going to get a lot of starting chances. There's a lot of bad quarterbacks out there. So the fact that he hasn't been given a starting, I like 2 things about them. I like that they have. I like that they have like CeeDee Lamb, and I do like Dak. I think Dak gets kind of a bad thing, but that's it.
I do too.
Their running backs are a disaster. They have Zeke Elliott, and they just signed Dalvin Cook, and the spin machine's already out there. Oh, the other thing too is they have Mike Zimmer, who's a fucking dinosaur, who like no player likes. They all fucking hate him. They have him as defensive coordinator. That defense is going to significantly regress. Like, Zimmer had the worst defense in the world in Minnesota, because he's a fucking dinosaur, and that's the problem. They're all old. CeeDee
and
Lamb,
they lost their coach. They lost the coach to where'd he go to? Atlanta? No, he went to Washington.
That's right. Yeah. I think he went somewhere. Yeah. So they sucked. The whole. Sorry. The other thing I like about them is the NFC East sucks. The word is out on Jalen Hurts. You can stop him. Washington sucks, and the Giants are. I think the Giants will be a little better than last year. They'll be better than last year.
Which is not good though.
Yeah, but
so Woodley, what are you going to do, Woodley? Over or under? Dallas Cowboys over or
You
under
think they're going
9.5?
under 9?
Under.
Wow.
Under.
Yeah,
Mike Matusow, Dallas Cowboys over under 9.5 wins.
Under.
You guys are out of your minds. That Dallas team is stacked. You're going to regret this, and I'm going to be bringing this one up every single week. I'm going to give you guys a Cowboys and a Seahawks report because you guys are just wrong on these two.
They're a really good 2000.
I like being on my own island. This is where
really
I'm going to
good.
get my fans right here about your guys' terrible picks. Right
I did
now.
not comment on Dallas. I think again. I think that's really close, and I call him waffling Woodley, but in this case it's waffling Helmuth, because I could see this one going either way. I've been so disappointed by them that it could easily be a 9 or 10 game. So to me, that can go either way. My takeaway from our entire session today is just one team, baby. One team. Detroit over 10.5. That's my takeaway.
What's your other pick there, Phil?
Phil, you only gave us one pick.
You only gave
No,
us
I
one?
gave 2 picks, but we talked about both of them already, right?
What was your other pick?
We talked about both my picks. We talked about I'm over 10.5. That's our consensus pick, and then I like the Bears under 9.5. So we've already talked about.
Okay.
We've already
I didn't
talked
know
about them. Now I think it's time to. Ask Mike why he threw the headphones down. Mike, we started the show without you, by the way, and so you took your headphones. The two-handed fist of a throw. I thought you might have broken them.
Because I'm sick of you being a douchebag. That's all.
All I said is we want to record the show on Tuesdays and not Thursdays. And then I said, because I don't want you to use Steve Fezzik's picks.
Yeah,
you must
well,
really not like Steve Fezzik because you slammed those.
I don't listen to anything that idiot has to say. Okay. And
that's not true.
By you implying that really annoyed me. Okay. And the fact that I listen.
Did it annoy you enough to throw headphones?
Yeah, I listen to people's stuff on Fridays, okay, even though they record their podcast on Thursdays. And so when you said that, you insulted me. I don't like being insulted, okay? I'm sick of being talked down to, and that's it, I don't believe that any way, shape, or form we should do the podcast on Tuesdays. We should do it on Thursday afternoon and put it out on Friday. That's my opinion. I'll leave it at that. I'm not changing my opinion.
I have to object. Mike, last year we have a group chat. There's 7 of us in the sports group chat. It gets real heated on NFL Sundays and during the week on the drama. So we're going to be really up on it. And Mike, all of a sudden we would notice, so I listened to this podcast. You'd give us updates of what the guys.
That was on Fridays.
Okay.
Yeah, on Fridays.
Was that Fezzik's podcast? Mike? Yes or no?
No, it wasn't. He's some idiot he's the only guy on there I didn't listen to. And
But you
that's why I
listened to
get
the
so
other
fucking
2,
mad.
so you like the Fezzik podcast.
No, there's five people on there. It's RJ Bell.
Who were the guys that you liked on that podcast? I want to know.
Yeah.
RJ Bell. I like RJ Bell. I like the one. There's like 3 or 4 of them. I listen
Crash?
So you like everybody but Fezzik, right?
Okay.
And so what did
I
Mike bring us? Woodley, you're on this for years. Cantor, you're on this for years. What did Mike bring us every Sunday? Well, the podcast likes X and podcast likes Y.
Woodley, just tell us.
And every week I said, and Fezzik's went 2-2 and thinks he's so good. And then I don't want to bring up other people. The bottom line I'm trying to say is, if we want to have success.
Mike, Mike, because of you, this podcast is now going to, everybody watch this podcast is going to watch every Kansas City game because you brought politics into this. We want to see if Brittany Mahomes sits next to Taylor Swift. Why, Mike?
Well, I mean, if there's friction there, that Kansas City ain't winning no Super Bowl.
Well, why would there be friction, Mike?
Because the fucking world is so polarized about the election. If fucking one side, if 2 best friends, one hates Trump and one loves Trump, they're gonna fucking be hating each other, and then they're gonna cause both their quarterbacks and they'll be divorcing.
We are going to be definitely updating.
So you're saying Brittany Mahomes what, Mike?
If if she really literally just didn't like a post by well, I don't know, she came out and defended it really hard. If she's really pro-Trump and fucking and what's his name, Taylor Swift is anti-Trump, I'm telling you right now, you're going to see a lot of friction.
Now, I got to tell you something. Woodley does not seem to like Taylor Swift. What is this about, Woodley?
I'm sure she's perfectly nice. I don't,
she's a prima donna.
I acknowledge she has.
She's America's girl.
I know she
girl.
probably has some musical talent. I think the cult of Taylor Swift is a bit much. I refuse to believe like this many people absolutely love her music and stuff. I think it became this like weird fad and everybody started following her around like she's
it's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Say when it comes to Taylor Swift, you just don't get it.
I don't get it, and then I think this Travis Kelce thing is even dumber. I think like the whole Taylor Swift Travis Kelce power couple thing is really dumb in my mind. I think there's too much talk about it. Like I
don't think so. I think it's gonna matter.
They show it. They show them on TV too much now. The Brittany Mahomes thing there. It is becoming a distraction. But my biggest problem with that whole dynamic now is now they've like have the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce fucking like multiverse, like it's some shitty Marvel movie. And now you have like their mom in it, and I'm sure she's really nice, but I don't give a shit about their mom. I want them to win football games. I do. And then now they got like
I like
Jason.
The mom.
They got fucking Jason. They got fucking Jason Kelce, in there, and like they got their podcast. They made $100 million today. Like good for them. But like all of a sudden, like he's like this thing. They're at the playoff game, whatever game that was, and like Jason Kelce is retired for like 6 minutes. Like decides like he needs to be the fucking center of attention or whatever. So he's like taking off his shirt and chugging a bunch of beers. And like, listen, I like drinking beer. Cantu likes drinking beer. We all do. But like the whole thing was fucking stupid. And the way they gave it play was insane. And like, I get that he was in Philly, which is a fucking city full of fucking mutants. And like, I'm sure like the Philly fans, they see him chugging fucking beer. They see him chugging beer with his shirt off. And they think he's like the fucking Shakespeare of comedy or like the fucking Mel Brooks of comedy. I understand that he's played to the dumbest humans on earth, but it's very annoying. And like the Jason Kelce stuff can go, the Taylor Swift stuff can go. I just want Travis Kelce to like get back to
Okay. My take on this.
Touchdowns.
I love Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is America's girl. I love the Kelces. I love the whole show. And not only was it not a distraction, they won the Super Bowl. So I love the whole show. I love the mother. I love everything about all of this stuff.
Mike, can I make a bet? I want to make a bet.
The mother's fine. I just don't care. I just don't need to see her.
I want to make a $10,000 bet. Okay, you got it. Are you ready? Within a year and a half, they'll be broke up, and she'll be writing another song about her love life. Year and a half.
I love her.
Anybody want to take the over?
She does really good heartbreak songs. Cantu, what do you got?
Anybody want the over? I want to make a bet. I say under 1.5 years, her and Kelce.
Okay, so we hear you, Mike. So first off, we need to have like weekly things. I want to know who Brittany Mahomes is, Taylor Swift, the mother, and I want to see where Jason Kelce's wife, who they're all sitting by. I want to see if they're there. I want to see where Blake Lively's, which box she's going to be in, or is Taylor going to grab Blake Lively and go to another suite? I want to know where everybody's sitting. We're going to know exactly where the turmoil is here by week 3-4, if Mike was right about this. So
why would
Blake
we will be
covering this on this? The WeWin podcast will be covering who sits with who at the Kansas City Chiefs games because Mike Matusow brought this up.
Telling you, Taylor Swift and fucking Brittany Mahomes are not going to be like this if she really is a Trump supporter. Because I'm telling you, these people, the media has trained the whole world to believe that Trump is Hitler and the worst vice president in the history of mankind is now Princess Diana. Okay, so good luck.
Okay, guys, I think this is a great place to end. I think this is a really, I think we did. I really enjoyed hearing your takes today.
I have to give a bonus pick, Phil. I know we're supposed to only do totals.
Go ahead.
For the comeback player of the year, they have Russell Wilson at 40-1. plus 4,000 DraftKings. I'm telling you, go get him. He is. You want to talk about a guy that's perfect for the comeback player of the year? He's been beat down. This guy feels like an ant right now. He is such a great
Week
player.
5, I'll take under week 5. He's on the bench.
11,
Under.
Wins, and he's throwing to George Pickens. Great quarterback. Just book it. 40-1, super long shot, comeback player of the year. Do you like it, Woodley?
Like, what's he coming back from? I mean, like, what's the comeback player of the year?
He got cut.
He had
no injury.
He did like a shitty Subway commercial. That's what he's coming back from. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it needs to be someone come back from injury. Like, I think Wilson has a good chance. We talked about this. Like, I think Wilson has a good chance to do well. I think he actually has an outside chance to start every game and maybe almost take them to the playoffs. But no, I don't like it.
Breaking news. It was announced just hours ago Russell Wilson has won the starting job.
Yeah, but that's
true.
Breaking news.
It's been known though. I mean, it's been known.
We kind of
but it's official now. It's official. It's been known, but now it's official.
Here's why I hate that pick, okay? Here's why I hate that pick. You have two quarterbacks coming off of major Achilles tears, right? You have fucking Aaron Rodgers and whatever. If he does anything and takes the Jets to the playoffs, everyone's gonna,
And then your boy Kirk Cousins.
And then Kirk, who's like the most disingenuous piece of shit known to man. Like, if he wins 10 games, they're gonna give it to him too. Like, him and his phony bullshit. Like, they're gonna give it to him. You think Wilson's gonna beat out Kirk and Aaron?
He's got to win 12 games to win that. He's not nearly the underdog as Russell Wilson is a super underdog. Like,
if Rodgers wins 10 games. If Rodgers wins 10 games, he wins it easily. Okay. If Kirk Cousins wins 10 games, he wins it.
By the way, Aaron Rodgers is plus 140. That obviously he's the favorite. Aaron Rodgers is the favorite.
I can't argue with I'll come back on that and say I can't argue with 40-1. That's a pretty good odds. But my sense of why I laugh so hard is you had to just get in Russell Wilson one more time. You are the biggest Seattle homer in the world. Mike knows it, Woodley knows it, and I know it. And next week you're going to have one special bet at the end of the show, and it's going to be around a Seattle Seahawk.
Wait, no. It's the Seattle Mariners are going to win the next 18 games, and they're going to win the World Series. I mean, I hear they got a new coach now, and watch them take off.
Right.
That's true.
Right. Yeah. And then the Portland Trailblazers. We have to hear about this too, Mike.
I send him Shaden Sharp's dunks. Every dunk
he told me with a straight face Cantu, like in 2017, that Portland was as good as the Golden State Warriors because he's a Portland guy. I'm a Golden State Warriors. With a straight face, he said that, and I'm just like, "Are you insane?" He's like, "No, listen."
Ask him how Dame Time did with the best player in the NBA. He couldn't even make a fucking shot.
We can't talk. Yeah. We can't talk Blazers. It's terrible. I mean, if you actually want a prop, if you want a long shot prop that could hit, here's one for you.
Let's hear it.
35-1. Sam Darnold to throw for more than 4,500 yards, which is 267 yards a game. He has zero competition.
35-1.
Yeah, and so
it's possible.
267 yards a game. Yeah, I mean that one will hit.
Well, that receiving core, all you got to do is throw the ball forward.
It won't hit, but it has a much better chance than Russell Wilson.
Agree
with that. Guys, I will tell you this: the WeWin podcast. We're just having a lot of fun. There's a lot of laughter. Mike's throwing headphones. I'm just like that clip would have been priceless. But I will tell you this: we are going to have 3 questions, and we are going to use the audio from those questions. You're going to call a phone 9. It's a 702 number, and then you're going to leave a message. And I can't wait to hear some of those messages about Cantu being a homer. And speaking of Cantu being a homer, what's that number, Cantu?
702-608-0383. One more time. 702-608-0383. And also, our email address is wewinsportspodcast@gmail.com. WeWin Sports Podcast at gmail.com.